Hello sugar, you're welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you guys missed me. Thank you to everyone who sent a message, those who called. I really appreciate you. Thank you to all my subscribers for sticking around. You guys are the best. As you can see, I'm heavily pregnant and I'm at the studio having fun in my sugar daddy robe. Okay, I waited 5 years before God blessed me with my Prince Charming, so you can see how excited I am in this video. What God cannot do does not exist. So in this video I'm gonna be sharing so much sugar to all my subscribers. Like, I'll be releasing so many sugar to everyone watching this video. So don't lick the sugar alone. Share this video to your friends, family and your loved ones. Let them lick from this sugar as well. Okay, so here are some pictures the photographer took. This video is gonna be the best video I'm ever gonna post on my channel. So without further ado guys, let's get right into the video. So here I have 50 yards of mesh fabric. As you can see, it's very soft and it's body friendly. I ended up using 45 yards for my project. Okay, so I'm just going to remove one of the 5 yards. They cut it 5 yards for me at the market because I don't have strength to start cutting plenty of fabric, so I'll remove one for my bodies. So to get the length of my robe, I'm gonna be using 160 inches for the length. You can use 140 or 150 depending on your height. Just measure your front and back measurement and add about 40 inches to it. So that's what I did. My front length is 60 inches long times 2, that gives me 120. Then I added 40 inches extra because I want my robe to be long. So that's why I'm using 160 for this. So now I just folded my fabric into 2, and then from the closed side I folded it again. So the closed part is where I'll be using for my neckline. So for my neck width, I'm marking 2.5 inches. You don't want your neck width to be too wide. For the neck depth, I use 1 inch for the neck depth. Okay, so my shoulder measurement is 8 inches and I'll mark that down. For my armhole, I'm using 11 inches. I noticed the armhole was a bit wide, so you don't want yours to be too wide. Okay, make use of your armhole measurements. So I'm marking my bust circumference like so, and from the bust circumference point I'm going to just place my ruler like so to get the length for my sleeve. Okay, so this is a cut together robe. So I'm going to pin that down because this fabric is a very soft fabric and you don't want it to move. So that's why I'm using my pins. Once I'm done using the pins, I'm going to cut the sleeve as you can see me do. Now that I'm done cutting the sleeve, I'm just going to give the bodies a very nice shape like so. You know the body is curvy and there's no sharp point on our body. Okay, so that's why I'm shaping that part like so. just give it a nice curve. There's no rule to this, give it a nice curve. Okay, so you can see how this looks. So now I'm going to cut out my neckline. I'm going to cut out the neck. Like I said earlier, the back neckline, I'm using 1 inch for the depth, while I use 2.5 inches for the neck width. So I'm going to move the inner fabric like so. I'll shift it away, okay, so that I can cut out the neck width, the neckline for the front. So I'm going to give it like a V shape, okay, just a slight V shape for the front neckline, like so, not too much, just slight V. Okay, once I'm done doing that, I'm going to slash this into 2. You can see me moving the inner fabric away, okay, so I don't cut it mistakenly. I'm just going to slash this all the way down to the end. So once I'm done, I noticed that I have a dangling fabric, and I just cut that out. So I'll continue cutting my dress. Just make sure that the length of your dress is equal. You can see I trimmed the length as well to make sure that it's equal. So once I'm done doing that, I'll remove my pins, and then I'm going to pin the sleeves together. So you can see me pinning the sleeves together. Once you pin your fabric together, it makes it easy for you to sew. So I'm going to pin both sleeves together, and I'll take it to my sewing machine. So here I'm joining the sleeves. I'm starting from the sleeve, okay? I'm joining the sleeve all the way down to the hem. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. I'm going to make this video very fast so that the length will not be too much, okay? So this is what my robe looks like after joining both sides together. So for the design that we are going for, I'm just going to eyeball it. You can measure your waistline or wherever you want your ruffles to start from. So that's where I want mine to start from. So I'm just going to put a pin there like so. You can measure yours, but I didn't measure, I just eyeballed it. So I'm putting pins down. I use double pins so that in case I lose one of the pins, I'll have the next one as a guide. Okay, you know this fabric is very light and the pins can easily fall out. Okay, so I'm done pinning the front side. I'm going to pin the side seam as well, because my ruffles will be going to the side seam, to my both side seams, and then my center back as well. So I'm just going to put the pin there as a guide. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the center back. I'll determine where I want my ruffles to stop, and then I'll place a pin there as well. I'll go over to the other side, and then I'll pin that down as well. That's the second side seam. Okay, so I'll pin that down. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to remove my robe from the mannequin, and then I'll take it to my table. So here I'm just trying to shape the down part of my robe. Okay, I'm just trying to give it a W shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is to pin down my side seams together. Once I'm done pinning the side seam, the essence of pinning this side seam is so that your fabric does not move. You get something very accurate when you pin your fabric down. So as you can see, I'm trying to get a W shape. So you can leave yours if you don't want the W shape, but it's actually very beautiful. You can shape in only the front, as you can see me doing now. Okay, but me, I want mine to be like a W shape. So I'm going to cut the side seam a little. I didn't measure this, I just eyeballed it. So I'm going to move again to the back, and then I'll cut it like so. So I have like a W shape now. Okay, so once I'm done doing this, I'm going to take my center back and I'll pin down the center back. Okay, the essence of putting pins on the center back is so that you will know where to sew your ruffles. Okay, so I'll prefer you use a safety pin to pin down the center back, because this office pin kept falling off. So use a safety pin to pin yours down so that you will not have to come back to the table to start pinning again. Okay, so I will remove the pins I used in holding my both center back together. So now we are moving over to the ruffles. I'm going to start my ruffles by picking my net one after the other, and I'm going to fold it like so. You can see the way I'm folding mine. I'm folding it as if I'm folding a wrapper. Please take note, I'm using a mesh fabric. Okay, you can see that the fabric is very soft and is body friendly. You don't want to use a tool for this part, okay, for your bodies, okay, because it's going to make you uncomfortable. So that's why I'm using a mesh fabric for my robe. Okay, so once I'm done folding, I'm going to make sure that the tip aligns, and I'll rule out my starting line. After ruling out my starting line, I'm going to mark out 7 inches for the width of my ruffles. Okay, 7 inches. So the beginning part, we don't need that part because it didn't align properly. So I'm going to cut out my 7 inches, and I'll use this first 7 inches to cut out the remaining part of my ruffles. Okay, I bought 50 yards of net, but I ended up using 45 yards of mesh for mine. Okay, so this is my ruffle foot. So I'm going to change my ruffle to the ruffle foot. Okay, this makes life very easy, and it makes your ruffles beautiful as well. If you don't have a ruffles foot, you can make use of your normal foot, but it's best to use a ruffle foot for this project. So now I'm just going to put my stitch on gathered stitch. You can see it's not so clear. So you can see the way I'm gathering my ruffles. I'm eyeballing the middle part of my net. So you have to sew down the middle part of your net. So you can see the way I'm eyeballing it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to show you how to join your net together, okay? So you can see I have a little left on the net. So the next one I'm bringing, I'll just fold it inward like so, and I'll place it down, and then I'll continue ruffling the net. Okay, I'm making this video a bit fast because I don't want it to be too lengthy. So you can see I have so much a ruffled net that I've done already. It's already looking so beautiful. So let's move over to the bodies. Okay, so now I cut out 3 inches wide fabric, and I'm just going to place that down from the beginning where I put my pin. So I'm sewing this on the neckline. You can use a bias for yours, but I prefer using the same color of net. Okay, so remember where we put our pin in the front part. Okay, the front part. So that's where I started this net from. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. So I've gotten to the second pin. As you can see my pin, so I'm folding this upward like so. The essence of doing this is to make sure that the neckline is neat. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this to the back, and then I'm going to top stitch it down. So when working with a net fabric, you want to be very careful because you don't want to make any mistake. It's not easy to lose a net fabric. You might end up spoiling your net if you are not careful. So you have to make sure that you don't have any excess net underneath your stitching machine. Okay, so you can take your time. You don't have to rush when doing this net project. Okay, you can see my neckline is looking so neat and beautiful. So place your ruffle 1 inch above the pin that we have, and don't forget to remove your pins. So I'm sewing on 1 inch before the edge. Okay, 1 inch before the edge, and as you can see I am sewing on the middle part, the same part where we stitched on the ruffles, the same part, the middle, that's where I'm sewing on. So you have to sew that down till you get to the next pin on your center front. Okay, don't forget to go above it by 1/2 inch so that it will cover the neckline bias that we did. Okay, once you are done with that, you flip over to the other side. You turn your ruffles over to the other side, and make sure you are sewing. Make sure there's 1 inch spacing in between your first ruffles. Okay, and make sure you are not sewing on your ruffles. 1 inch spacing in between your ruffles. You sew this down all the way to the next neckline ruffles. So once you get to the neckline, you flip it over again. Leaving the same 1-inch spacing. Okay, maintain your 1-inch spacing and make sure that your net is not squeezed or rumpled underneath the ruffles, okay? Because net fabric can be very difficult to lose. So continue sewing till you get to the side front. You can see my side front. So now I'm going to flip to the upper side. You can see the side seam. So now I'm going to flip my fabric and my ruffles, and I will sew up until we get to the pin we used on the center front. Sorry, the pin we used on the side seam. Don't forget to pin down the side seam of the both side seam and the side back. So I'm going to continue sewing up till we get to the pins we have on the side seam. You can see my pin. Okay, I'm going to remove my pins. Don't forget to remove your pins. So once you are done, once you get to where your pin is, you flip your fabric over again and continue sewing all the way down, maintaining the 1-inch spacing. Don't forget to arrange your ruffles. Sometimes the ruffles can twist, but you have to arrange it. Make sure that your ruffle is not twisted. Okay, you just have to be patient with this project. So now I've gotten to my center back. You can see my pins that I have there. Okay, so once I get to where that pin is, I'm going to flip the fabric and I'll remove my pin. I'm going to flip the ruffles and I'll sew all the way up to where the pin stopped on the center back. You can see me arranging my ruffles. This is a very important step. You have to arrange your ruffles very well, because sometimes the ruffles can twist, but arrange it well. So you can see the end of the pin. Okay, you can see the end of my pin at the center back. So now I'm going to remove my pins from the center back. And then I'll flip the ruffles again and I'll sew all the way down, and then I will continue sewing till I get to the side seam again. So I'll do the same technique we did for the side seam, for the first side seam. Okay, I'll do the same technique and then I'll proceed again till I get to the center front. So once you are done with that, you will notice that your side seam and your center back has just 2 layers of ruffles, while the center front we have 3 layers each. Okay, we are going to do the same technique for the sleeve. Just sew your ruffles all the way round on both sleeves. Okay, so that's what I did for the sleeve. You just sew your ruffles round, leaving 1 inch spacing for the sleeve. So now I've gotten to the center front and I'm about ending my project. I'll cut out the excess ruffles that I have that is not needed, and I'll tuck the ends inward to hide the rough edge. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch this down. Please don't mind my baby, is the one making sounds in the background. My baby is already here. So don't forget to arrange your ruffles. This is very, very important. Note I've been emphasizing on that. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch this down and I'm done with the project. The same thing you are going to do for the sleeve. Just sew the ruffles all the way around the sleeve 3 times, depending on how much fabric you have left, because we might not have the same gathering power. Okay, when I say gathering power, I mean the way we ruffle our fabrics might not be the same. So for my sleeve, I ruffled my sleeve 3 times. You can see how beautiful our project is. For the rope on the waistline, I cut out 5 inches wide fabric and I sewed that down. Very long fabric, and I sewed that down. This is looking so beautiful. You can see the W shape we created. Give it up for the back of the dress. The back is giving. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Share my videos, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao.